All right, well, hello and welcome to Week 5 edition of the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, once again presented by Peruzzi Buick GMC, as well as Aria Health, your hospital in Lower Bucks County. I'm Matt Miro from WBCB. This video will be live on WBCB1490.com, leading up to this Friday's game against Harry S. Truman, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff on WBCB1490.com. Before we go forward, we're going to have to go backwards real quick. William Tennant last week, a heartbreaking defeat for the Redskins, 20-17. You know, Coach, I'm glad we get some bereavement time and do this on Tuesdays, because it would have been bad over the weekend. I don't know how would it.
It's not much better now.
Okay.
This one, this one was a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I was. It came down to making those plays, and it's something we've been preaching, and really just challenging our guys to do, and the opportunities that were there for us, offensively, defensively, and special teams, to kind of get a good win under a William Tennant team. I thought that played extremely well. I mean, second week in a row, the coach mentions and says to me it was one of their best games they played in a long time, and it's a compliment that they come ready to play against us, and but we're aware of that, and we've got to know that we got to make those plays. Well, we made a great turnover. The one play I'd like to take back was the last play of that first drive. I would have changed some things there, and I think we could have changed it. But other than that, we ran the ball well. We had through it when we had to, and kind of had some things going defensively. We were really playing well, and then we lost a couple of our gap assignments, and Tennant took advantage. And one or two of those pass plays, we kind of lost track of the receiver. So it's very humbling.
You mentioned how Coach Gallagher and now Coach Bizkini both mentioned to you, how they were prepared and made their best game against you, and you're used to expecting that team's coming to Hartburg Ridge, or you playing them and you getting their best effort. Did some of the guys, you get a young group and mix with some veterans, maybe they're not aware of that yet, or they may be surprised in a sense?
Well, the one thing I will say to I'm not a public. I don't want to air our laundry.
Right.
But I do think, and it's very prevalent right now, that the leadership level of our team has got to improve. Mm-hmm. And when things are going well, it's okay. But then all of a sudden, in most every football game, whether it's a big win or a tight win or a tough loss, there's always that crossroads in that game, and you either got to get the break or you've got to make the break, and you got to do it together, and that's what we've been preaching. And we had those opportunities to go out there and really kind of grab this game by the throat early, and even during the game in the second half we had opportunities to end the game, and we allowed Tennant chances to continue, and both offensively and defensively, and you give a team like that chances with the spread offense and the weapons, and the quarterback was firing it, and guys were flying around down there. It ended up, it was a very exciting game, but obviously, good for them, bad for us.
I'm going to try to take a positive out of the game, and I talked to you before we came on camera, is that one positive was the offense and your team in general, even with the loss, showed a lot of mettle late in the game to come and have a nice sustained drive to score and put you guys ahead. And one of the guys that was big, a big part of that drive was quarterback Hugh Hart. He seemed to really, I think, control that offense late in the game and did a good job, getting a good drive going late in the game.
Hugh's had a marvelous personality. He's had a great attitude all year, and he knows that he understands the offense very well. I don't think there's a guy on our team that cares more.
Right.
And the team totally respects his dedication and what he's doing, and they're behind him. And and he had a rough week last week. Then never backed away from that. We got it all squared away, and we put together a plan, And you know, Hugh executed it terrifically. That last drive, you know, he made a couple really nice plays happen, and put a couple throws in there on the money that needed to be put up where they had to be, and you know, with a minute 5 seconds left, we you know, we go ahead. So you know, there's a whole lot that you can draw back on that, and so you know, it's that's far from our issues right now.
We'll end with this before we preview. Take a short break and then preview Harry S. Truman game. You mentioned both weeks. There were just a couple plays, maybe a half a dozen or so, that could have changed the entire complexion of each game.
Right.
And you know, both losses, for that matter, have been close games for almost 4 quarters. Does it make it that much harder knowing, you know, if we just execute these 3 or 4 plays, the outcome's different, rather than just getting you know taken to the woodshed for 4 quarters? How much harder is that for you guys, knowing 3 or 4 plays and it's a different outcome?
Well, you know, it's a great question, Matt. The issue that I have is the fact that we've been preaching making plays. We've been preaching be opportunistic, go out, you know, and you know, don't wait, go do it. And that's the one thing we've been trying to shove everybody in that direction on both sides of the ball, and even with our special teams too, because you know, we've got some talented people there. So, and we've really been trying to get everybody, you know, take that next step. And unfortunately, you know, the no plays are outnumbering the making plays, and that's the opportunities missed, I think, are outnumbering the ones that we've made, and that's a little bit disappointing. And we kind of got overshadowed in the first 2 games because, quite frankly, we were just a much better team, and against the 2 opponents. These 2 teams, you know, both played at a good level, and you know, we matched the level to an extent, not as much Souderton, but we learned from that. But I think we came out and you know, Biz and I had a small chat. I wasn't in the talking mood too much, but hey, but you know, commend them for the way those guys came out and played, but gosh, I mean, sure, there's a whole lot of things going on there, but that's football. I mean, that's life. You know, that's the thing about all this. I mean, you've got to make sure that you know, I'm not going to put, you know, whipped cream on dog crap now, okay? Sure. So, you know, we're not going to do that. And, you know, we got beat, and we're now 2-2, and you know, we've got a very hungry Truman team coming. We got to go play there, which is even worse.
And we're going to talk about that Harry S. Truman team in only moments after a quick break. Once again, the Coach Mark Schmidt Show being brought to you in part by Peruzzi, Buick GMC, as well as Aria Health, your hospital in Lower Bucks County. Take a short break, come back, and preview that matchup this Friday against the Harry S. Truman Tigers, a really gritty team year in and year out. So we'll see what Coach Schmidt has in store for them here in only moments on the Coach Mark Schmidt Show.
Says that Aria Health's emergency department saved his life. Recently, while playing golf, Tom experienced cardiac arrest, and the ambulance took him to Aria Health Bucks County campus, where Dr. Emmerich and his team of doctors and nurses took fast action and literally brought Tom back to life. Dr. Emmerich visited Tom frequently, answered all his questions, even gave him his phone number. Led by Dr. Harry Emmerich, the emergency department at Aria Health Bucks County provides 24/7 care in a leading-edge environment. To learn more about Tom's story at Aria Health Bucks County, visit ariahealth.org/Tom. That's ariahealth.org/Tom.
This is Larry at Peruzzi Buick GMC. You'll hit a home run every weekend at Peruzzi Buick GMC Service Department. Every Saturday and Sunday, Peruzzi Buick GMC is offering a standard oil and filter change for just $19.95. And remember, Peruzzi Buick GMC is open every Sunday from 8 to 5. Peruzzi Buick GMC is the home of the $34.95 Pennsylvania State and Emissions Inspection every day of the week. No matter where you purchase your car or truck, you can get it serviced 7 days a week at Peruzzi Buick GMC. And remember, we're open Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
All right, welcome back into the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, presented once again by Peruzzi Buick GMC, as well as Aria Health, your hospital in Lower Bucks County. And Coach, we got another, we get one team, we go right to the next one here this Friday at Harry S. Truman Field. The Tigers taking on the Shawnee Redskins, 6:45 pregame here on WBCB, 7 o'clock kickoff for the Redskins and the Tigers. And, 2 losses in a row, it's something that, most programs may happen to, may get used to at times, but Last year you guys lost back-to-back games against Council Rock North and South, and it was the first time you did it in about 7 or 8 years. So it's not something you guys are familiar with, losing back-to-back games. Is there going to be more of a sense of urgency this Friday?
Well, it's again, you ask good questions.
I try to.
And we try to. What I try to do on my 30-minute ride home and 30-minute ride back is, I try to think of things that I can challenge our team with. And big issue right now is getting back on the bus and going to play another team. I mean, we kind of liked the schedule originally because we kind of hoped we could get off to a decent start and get some things going and get the away games out of the way. But after this week, you're looking at the fact of doing it again, and then going to a place that's a rivalry game. And Truman guys and the Chamonix guys know each other well, and we have great respect for each other. There's a couple guys, a couple ex-players on that staff. There's one ex-coach on that staff that's over there, and Ed's doing a great job. And they're a very big, strong football team this year. I'm really impressed with the way they're playing. And I know the Pennsbury jumped up on them and got a couple things rolling, and but at halftime it was 14-2, and Truman was giving them the business, and then they got rolling. But they're a good team, and I think that it's an option offense. They've got 2 or 3 of those big fullbacks they give the ball to and pound you, and they got a big group of guys up front. We've got 1 or 2 guys that aren't able to play this week, so we've got to go out and step up and play well. And if we don't, I sure don't want to be on that bus coming back 2-3.
31-0, you guys defeated Truman last year, but that score doesn't really show the intricacies of the game. It was 10-0 at halftime. It was a game that was won in the second half by a really good defense by you guys.
Right.
And you mentioned some of your old coaches on the staff and some ex-players on the staff as well. Does that take into effect of anything? I know John Craig's defensive coordinator down there. I know you and Coach Neil Friends really respect him.
John's a great guy.
Yeah.
And, John's good. Chris Eccles is there and a couple guys. And Ed's really went into a very bad situation and has really kind of gotten those guys turned. You can just tell by the way they play that they're a team, and those guys have really done a good job of that coach walked out on them and all that stuff, and every mid-season and all that mess, and he inherited all that, and it's certainly a positive. And you get a group of guys playing together, and God knows what can happen. And look, that's the thing we did at that point in time last year. We kind of got going and put a couple younger guys in there and got things going, and flew around and shut down a potent type style offense that they run, and it was a very, very confidence building win. And but we've got to play well.
This is the second game you're probably going to see a dominant nose tackle, really. You saw Rick Young against Satterton, a guy that can really cause havoc. And now you're going to see a guy in Sharif Clinton, you mentioned, a big guy, strong, physical. And he definitely tries to weigh on your guys with his size and his strength. You guys have extra planning this week. Is it kind of similar to Satterton's defense where they had that dominant nose tackle?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got to keep him we've got to try to do our best to keep him on the line of scrimmage. When he gets upfield and creates havoc, it screws up all your schemes. Mm-hmm. And what impresses me about him, in the past, he was just as big, maybe bigger. I think that's the thing that's impressed me this year. This year he looks like he's in very good shape, and he's running much better. I mean, before he was a big rascal that just got up in there and was just kind of banging around. Now he's really moving, and he's taking a big step, and I think that's a testimony to the staff, being able to convince those guys to take that step in the weight room and in preparation. And so that's there's a couple other guys up front there that are pretty solid too. So the 3 fullbacks they have really play well.
Right. Going on your side now on offense, the run game for the most part has been successful at times with Devin and Nate and supplementing guys in there, Blake Sullivan and Denny Lord and whatnot. The passing game, other than Justin Andrews, who year in and year out has great games against Truman. I don't know what it is, if it's a rivalry game, what it is. He always steps up against Truman and has a great game. But we saw last week and the week before some different sets of wide receivers in that X position, whether it's Conor McGarry or Dan Matoli? Is it kind of an open competition in a sense next to Justin to see who's going to be that guy to fill in? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, Cole's the guy that jumps over.
Yep.
We've had some guys that have we weren't able to play for one reason or another for a period of time that were talented, but really right now it's a situation where we're rolling some guys in, and whoever gets hot's going to get a chance to play, and it's creating some competition. You know, the one thing when you do those things, you want to make sure that everybody understands it's a competition.
Right.
It's not a penalty, and you know, there's a fine line, and that's the one thing that this football team has to understand, that when there's competition, guys need opportunities to see who can step up and play and who can't, and those that are playing well will get more, and those that don't. So that's you know, again, it's part of the growing stage. It's part of that season long, you know, book that you're writing. So that's just where we are.
Almost maybe a little past the quarter point of the year right now. You know, what points, what sides of your team do you guys need growth? What do you think you've been impressed with? Just things in that nature, a little over the quarter point of the season.
Well, you know, the thing I like to do is I like to see us just get a little more settle down and just get into a groove, get ourselves going in a good direction. I mean, you know, it seems like we're kind of bouncing around. I'm not happy with that. We have guys that can do some things. We have guys that I really I like their skills. But you know, we've got to settle down. We were hoping we'd have some answers by now, a little more concrete. But quite frankly, you know, we've got a couple younger guys that are really doing well, and a couple older guys that I think we think can do better. So do you give the younger guy a chance to try to step up and do something with it? And because he's certainly earned it, and you know, the older person or the other person also is maybe you know, didn't earn it, or you know, doesn't deserve to be the sole guy. So, and when you do that, then all of a sudden you got to make sure everybody knows what they're doing. And so I don't like loose ends. I never did. You know, I'm not one of those kind of guys.
Sure.
And you know, but then again, I don't want to get it to the point where it's so simple and so boring that we're too predictable.
Right.
So I think Friday we mix it up pretty good. I mean, you know, with Devin in there, we did some things with Justin, and you know, the guys ran the ball well. So and we made a couple nice throws.
So we'll see more this Friday, 7 o'clock kickoff at Harry S. Truman, the Chamois taking on the Tigers. 6:45 pregame on WBCB. 1490.com. It's the segment, the part of the show everyone fast forwards to. This is going to get your week alive. I help you every Tuesday. We get into the mind of you, and we ask you 3 questions that you always enjoy answering.
Listen, we better win this damn week. I'll tell you that right. Okay, there's no questions next week.
No questions next week.
Next week we'll just do our thing.
Okay.
All right?
Oh, you got it.
We'll cut this thing a little short.
You
right?
got it.
Jeez.
You got it. First question.
All
right?
We better play good this week. Jeez.
I trust me. I got a big feeling about this week.
Gosh.
That's all you need to know.
I sure hope so.
First question. School is back in session.
Yes.
Give me, whether it was in college or high school, a favorite class, a favorite, whatever it was, something that you remember to this day, a teacher, whatever it was.
I had a great group of buddies in high school.
We
were good pals, and still are. And our baseball team was very, very good. Our football team was champions, and we were all. And then our basketball team was very average. But I didn't play basketball. But I mean, we were all buddies. And, you know, our assistant baseball coach was our driver ed teacher. And,
yeah.
We all kind of had. 3 of us had the same time slot, so that was fun.
Right.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
That's it, man. That's as far as I'm going.
It's frightening.
Driver ed was pretty cool, and you know, it's a very big car, four-door. So we had the 4 of us in the car, and it was a good hour and a half that we had there during driver ed time.
Sure. You guys had a tough loss Friday, but in your 16, 17 years you've been here in the Chamonix, give me, and it may be obvious, give me your most memorable win here as the Redskins coach.
Wow. Win. Well, I think just one.
Give me a couple. Maybe go through it, and then
Well,
it's
no,
fine.
I think the one that kind of kicked us over the edge was coming from behind there to beat CB West the year we won the title, and I made a dumb mistake during the game late, and they bailed me out, and we went down the field with one timeout, and scored when the clock went 0, and the whole, it was like a movie, and it was kind of neat because we practiced a couple things there, and we did it all, 2 minute and hurry up, and ran a play, and everybody had to execute it. And it was 4th down, and we banged the fullback up in there, and he didn't get what he needed, and then we tried. Of course, you try to hit Jamar up in there twice, and then they were packing it, and all of a sudden I called bootleg, and we pull out, and everybody's open. I'm like, oh my gosh, just get the ball. Somebody please catch it. It was like it was one of those moments, and we caught it, and the kid fell in the end zone, and boom, and then from there we kind of, the next week we had to go for 2 to win that game. So that was pretty memorable too. And then obviously the game that got us to the finals in Hershey was 12. So there's that year, but last year I thought going to Pennsbury to have to win, to salvage a season, and to see these young guys do what they did currently was extremely rewarding. And so every game you win, you feel good for the guys, and every game you lose, you kill yourself thinking that there's so many things you can do, and you don't want these guys to feel bad. You don't want, no coach. I mean, if you call yourself a coach, you want to take it all, and you want those kids. You don't want any guy to leave a high school career regretting anything. And have leaving a legacy that's not positive, and especially here because it's important. And and I can say this with all relevance. I mean, every coach on the staff is killing himself to get these guys to feel that way. Right. I mean, the time commitment, the X's and O's, the plans. I mean, you look at them, everybody feels good. Now we just got to go play. And the guys that were doing it last year are pretty much doing it this year. We just got to, settle down and quit caring so much that it's kind of making our feet slower. So that's all. And memory-wise, this week we win after these 2 tough losses. It'll be a memorable one because I'll be real happy for these guys to get back on track. So there's your answer.
Great answer. So I'll end it with 2. So you get off this week.
Good.
After a win, there'll be 5 questions. So I'm just kidding. There'll be 3 again. So for Coach Mark Schmidt, I'm Matt Miro of WBCB 1490. Once again, the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, presented by Peruzzi Buick GMC, as well as Aria Health, your hospital in Lower Bucks County. This Friday night at Harry S. Truman, the Shanghai Redskins will travel to Levittown to take on the Tigers and get back on track starting this Friday. So for Matt Miro, Coach Mark Schmidt, we'll see you next week.